ladies and gentlemen, welcome to X Marks the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Mateo, and I'm with my good friend, Alice. How are you doing, Alice?
Hi. My pronouns are she, they, and pretty much keeping myself above flight. So just dealing with my mental health, seeking some support, and also been doing a little bit of hobbies, which I can't reveal too much, but it should be exciting for the future. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if anyone's struggling out there, reach out and talk to someone. We always think that it's always good to talk. That's very important. And look after yourself. And on that serious note, let's get on with the podcast. We've got a very busy podcast this week. We've got a lot to cover. We've got to do our Xbox predictions. Woo! And we're also going to talk about the absolute shit show that was the PlayStation conference. The absolute turd. The 4 out of 10 would not recommend. No, it wasn't 4 out of 10. I gave it a 7, I think, or a 6. I think you gave it a 7.
You sound like a 6 to me because I gave it like a 7.
Yeah. And then we're also going to talk about what we've been playing. Got some interesting things to talk about. We've got loads of news to cover. I might skip over some of it because there's so much to talk about. So we start off the podcast. Well, I was going to say we start off the podcast like we always do with what we've been playing, but you've changed the running order this week. So we started off with early discussion, the Sony conference. Is that correct?
Well, we did it as a reaction, and this produced a lot of videos. It started out with like Xbox fans were reacting to it, but I think it's just really a bunch of likes and dislikes. So console wars, but I think the thing is that I don't know if it's mentioned it in the news or not, but at the moment we did our reaction and got videos on YouTube, so it's simply like brought more people across. But speaking of which, we got over 100 subscribers.
Yay! Woo, we did it! Our goal was to hit 100 subscribers before the end of the year, and we've managed to do it before the Xbox conference, which is really exciting and really cool. And thank you for subscribing. We really appreciate it. We do our audio podcast as well on Spotify and all audio services, but our main place to watch us is YouTube, and we do a lot of extra content on YouTube, so we really appreciate it that all you guys have subscribed and liked our videos. We really do appreciate that very much. And if you're listening to us on the audio podcast, thank you for listening to us as well. We really appreciate that as well. It's fantastic. We're a new podcast. We're still getting off the ground, but I'm glad we're going in the right direction, I think, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So, we just wanted to talk briefly about the Sony conference. We're not going to go into it too much detail because, as you said, we have a whole 2 hours reaction of it. If you want to see our initial reactions, there's a full video of that up, and there's also shorts and clips out and stuff like that. Should we just say what our highlights were, like what we think were the best parts, and then we'll just we'll come back to it when we get to the news later.
I think
worst parts. I don't know.
I think the best part is Metal Gear Solid. That's it.
Delta, a marathon for me, even though it was just a CGI trailer.
I think this one will be like the flashiest one, and I think these are really good games, but Metal Gear Solid Delta and Marathon are coming to Xbox as well, so... Exactly.
I mean, that's the main problem with it. I mean, that's where an Xbox podcast is good for us, but the main problem with the Sony conference is that we went into the conference going, Sony's first party is Spider-Man, and that's coming out at the end of the year. What else is there going to be? Then after the conference, it's like, oh, their first party is Spider-Man, and that's coming out at the end of the year. What else is there going to be? Like, literally nothing changed between before and after the podcast when it comes to their first party. Apart from the fact that now we know they're doing a lot more live services, which was the rumor, and now it's like, ugh, foam stars, no thank you.
No, that's a...
If I want JRPG Splatoon.
No, it's not. It's basically a Splatoon ripoff. That's it. Foam stars...
Anime Splatoon.
Yeah, it's just like Square Enix wants to make that as a live service, which is a bit weird considering they already closed down a lot of live service games, so it's a bit shoot.
Yeah, it's a very bad idea. Like Square Enix have sold the rights to some of these really good games, basically they sold a load of rights to these really good games, and then they decided, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll just make foam stars. yeah, that's going to sell money. That's going to make money for us film stars. No thanks. Very bad. They also confirmed the Q Lite, which is like ridiculous, and they also had a movie trailer for the Gran Turismo movie, which is hilarious as well.
That's weird.
I don't think Xbox has much to worry about when it comes to conferences. It's not a very high bar to. If they do worse than this somehow, I'm gonna be very sad and very shocked and very let down. I don't know how you can make it worse than that.
I think the thing is, people are expecting them to like announce a multiplayer Last of Us game, Wolverine, which has been teased. And I think there's one or few other things, but I think there's also a
Tsushima 2 or
the Ghost of Tsushima is made. Oh yeah, there's pretty much a Sony game of some sort.
Time for a sequel for that. We haven't heard from that, and there's a couple of companies that we haven't heard from in Sony. Yeah, it was a bit of a letdown. And I want to like Sony. I want Sony to do well, but it was a bit of a letdown. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's like they've got. It's like the thing that made them popular was the third person action adventure games, and now they kind of decided, oh well, that's not making us enough money. Let's make live service games. So they announced like a load of live service games. Just like not a good idea. Xbox has been doing the live service. It's not worked out very well for Xbox. I'm not gonna lie. No, don't do it. Don't do it. And the Q Lite, I'm like, what was the point of that device? Oh my god, streaming console. We're talking about streaming consoles for Xbox. I'm like, that's cool, but like, it's good because you could also, like, with Xbox, you could also stream off the cloud. You don't need to have an Xbox console to play the games. Well, you need a PS5 to play the games off the Q Lite. And if you have physical discs, how are you going to play different games on there? You have to literally swap the discs around to play it on your Q Lite. As everyone says, it's like a Wii U gamepad. That's literally what it is. Yeah, that's
exactly it. But it's also the case of like, what'd you get if you have split the DualShock 5 into half and then stick a mobile phone screen on it? Profit. Yeah.
I've seen a picture on Twitter where it's like, Breath of the Wild. It's got like, not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. It's got two halves of a PlayStation 5 controller and a screen, and it's stuck together with like the green goop that you get when you That's really funny. So the Sony conference, I was disappointed by it. And if you want to hear a really positive take on it, though, you want to listen to the PS We Trust guys. They really loved the press conference. They were really into it. They've loved it.
They also love the hell out of Hell Jumpers. And I was like, okay.
Helldivers too. I've never played it, but I heard it's pretty decent Helldivers, actually, to be fair. And then obviously, we're all big Metal Gear Solid fans, apart from Spencer, who gave it a 6 out of 10. And I'm just going to bring that up every episode now. It's just one of those things, a recurring thing. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid, we're all fans of that. Alan Wake 2 looked good, but basically everything good was third party apart from Spider-Man. The worst Spider-Man! That's all I was saying the whole conference. And also the fact that the Metal Gear Solid trailer was just CGI. We didn't get to see who's making it, what it looks like, or anything like that. They released videos they released screenshots after the fact and news and updates, but at the time, it was a bit disappointing because it wasn't like that. I kind of feel like I'm getting too old for just CGI trailers now. I need something to back it up now. I need some gameplay. Just CGI doesn't do it for me anymore.
Why? Do you worry as if you're probably getting too old so you can tell the difference between CGI and the gameplay?
Yeah, something like that. No, it's more along the lines of when you see a trailer, like I can't remember what the name of the game is now. It was like a cat game. It's like, what is this game? Like, it's just literally just a cat running across the screen. I'm like, okay, but what are we actually doing in this game? What is the actual gameplay? Like, there's like literally no gameplay for half these games. And like, what are we actually doing in these games? Like, you don't even explain what the concept of the game is. Like, gameplay is important. Gameplay is the most important thing to me when it comes to every video game like out there. If it's got bad gameplay, then I'm not going to play it. It's as simple as that. So,
is that the Night in the Woods successor?
That's the one, yeah. I don't even know what that game is. It was just a cat for the trailer. It didn't even explain what the game was.
I don't blame you because I don't really remember the name of it.
No, it's not even... Yeah, the name's not even memorable. The only reason I'm excited for Marathon is because I know it's Bungie. If you didn't know the developer, if it's like some random developer, I wouldn't care. But it's Bungie. So it's like, yeah. You know, like it's like that trailer was really very good trailer for Marathon. The only reason I'm excited is because it's Marathon and it's Bungie. The names of the two companies, the company and the name of the game is what's exciting, but the trailer itself did nothing for me, really.
But it's still pretty vibrant and colourful, to say at least.
Yeah.
Anyway, the big question is just whether Marathon is going to be a entirely new game like Prey, or is it just going to be a reboot of the franchise that's on like the Mac OS computers? Because Marathon is basically a Doom clone for like the Mac systems.
Well, it's a multiplayer shooter, then it's an insurgent shooter. I think that's what they call them. It's like a certain term for it. It's the new fad. It's the new battle royale. Like it's the new trend in shooters. So it should be fun. Like Escape from Tarkov, I think is the name of the main game that's like similar to. I'll play it because it's Bungie. I mean, that's pretty much it for me. It's a Bungie game. I'll give it a try. I've liked every Bungie game. Saying that, I liked every Arcane game up until Redfall. So what do I know? You know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of which, I was also just going to say, like, this conference for PlayStation, Xbox fumbled. Xbox were down on the ground. All they had to do was they had the ball in their hands, and all they had to do was get to the touchline and get a touchdown. And that's American football references. Oh, it was an open goal, and all they had to do was shoot it, and they missed, and they fumbled, and they dropped the ball. They messed it up completely. They had the easiest win ever. All they had to do was show a couple of games, and they would have won, and they would have completely killed Xbox once and for all. And Xbox are back, baby. Like now Xbox are in the driving seat again. We got the ball back. We're going on the attack now for the conference. Completely, they messed that up. They could have killed us. They could have finished us right there and then, but their conference was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, that was the Sony conference. Was there anything else you want to mention before we move on? Because I feel we'll be talking about this all day.
I would say that the Sony conference does have some interesting games. Yeah, sorry about that. I think, oddly enough, I think it was a fly that flew into my throat. So, therefore, yeah, I was talking about the Sony conference. Like, there's some really interesting games on it. Teardown looks really interesting. Might be worth checking it out. Would be a huge backstab if it came on Game Pass. But apart from that, it's just like, there's Marathon, Ghost Runner 2, and there's even Assassin's Creed Mirage, but there's also Never as well. So I think there's something to look forward to in it. But apart from that, it's just like there isn't a lot that really took people's interests. Is there any of those PlayStation fans who's just like have a lot of expectations, end up just got themselves really disappointed?
I think that fly was a Sony ninja trying to get you to stop talking about Sony. Just trying to stop talking. Also, Sword of the Sea looks pretty badass. I love it. It looks like a sequel to Journey, and Journey was amazing. Oh, I don't know why. Badass is probably not the right term for it, but you know what I'm saying. Alan Wake 2 looks cool as well, but I'm not a huge fan of horror games. Probably a bit too scary for me. I'm a bit of a wuss. Just watching that trailer, I'm like, oh, scary. I don't like it. But there was I think it was Phantom Blade Zero, which looks like a Bloodborne or like a Sekiro kind of game. But I'm not sure how good. It's like I think it's in super early development. So that CGI trailer was like fake. As far as I'm aware, it's like it's not real. That's like not really what the game looks like yet. It's kind of like a conceptual trailer. So if it comes out anything looking like anywhere near as good as that, it'd be awesome. But I've got my doubts. As I said, they're a mobile developer, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was the Sony conference. I was a bit let down by it, but hey, it's an Xbox conference. It was pretty good.
I hope so.
if you like Xbox games, you should watch the Sony conference. There's plenty of Xbox games for you. Also a movie trailer, and also Spider-Man. If it wasn't for Spider-Man, that whole conference would have been an absolute would have been one of the worst press conferences I've ever seen. For Sony,
that's overstating it, really. Now, shall we move on to what have we been playing? What have we been playing?
So what have I been playing? I've been playing Zelda a lot still. I'm obsessed with that game. I love it so much. I've beaten 2 out of the 4 main dungeons. I've explored the underground like a lot. I've just basically been having fun with it, experimenting. You can see I put a couple of shorts up.
Yes.
Like I made blade blades, and I made a catapult. I made rockets and all sorts of Beyblades. Everyone loves Beyblades.
You certainly got a Gmod outfit.
Yeah, it's basically becomes Gary's mod now, isn't it? It's ridiculous. I love it. But yeah, I played a lot of Tears of the Kingdom. But this morning, I started playing this Street Fighter 6. Ignore the top. Ignore the fact it's on PS5.
Just bring over around your face. No, the other side of the face, like that. Yeah, that's the one. Ignore the top part where it says PS5. I'm a traitor, I know. That's because I bought it because in the PS3 Trust guys, they're obsessed with Street Fighter. And I went to London with them to play Street Fighter. So I literally bought it just to play Street Fighter with them. Ironically, I've got it and none of them have it. I got it 2 days early and none of them have got it. And they're already pissed at me and like, what do you mean you got it 2 days early? I'm like, oh. I was basically speaking to my brother-in-law who I used to play Street Fighter with a lot back in the day. He lives in Australia with my sister, and they're got a happy family over there. And I was basically messaging him saying, would you want to play Street Fighter if I got it? Because he likes Street Fighter and he only has a PS5. And he goes, yeah, I would. Yeah. It's like, okay, cool. And he goes, tell you what, I'll buy it for your birthday for you. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't want you to do that for me, but for sure. So he bought it for me for my birthday. That was yesterday morning. So he must have ordered it on Amazon, and it came like today, a day later. Oh, thanks, Amazon Australia. You've really saved me some time here. So I played about 3 or 4 hours, not played too much. Really enjoying it. They got this modern control scheme on there as an option. You can play classic, which is like, 6 buttons, is it?
Yeah, the classic quarter circle punch to do a Hadouken, free quarter circle up to do her Shoryuken or whatever. Shoryuken. But on this one, I think it's just triangle and directions to do special moves, which is much nicer, I think. Because whenever I play Street Fighter, I'm just constantly trying to spam the special moves with my palm of my hand, like, and I'm not even trying to come up with tactics. I'm just like, spam special moves. I noticed now I can do special moves without thinking about it. It's much easier, much nicer, I think.
I noticed on the controller that you said the triangle or Y is the one that does special attacks, right?
I believe so, yeah. I've only played it for about 2-3 hours, but yeah, I think so.
It's a bit like Mortal Kombat because you only do like less combinations to do attacks. But I also noticed that like the square, X, and circle corresponds to like medium and heavy attacks. When in the past it's just like light punch, light kick, and vice versa.
I mean, you can still play it the original way. It's like they got classic mode and modern controls. So I was trying out the modern controls, and I quite like them. But I know most people will probably play classic way because classic way is how you've always played Street Fighter. This is the 6th game in the series, so I can understand people not wanting to change.
But how does it work with like? If you press the light attack, is it punches all the way, or do you have to press a special combination in order to like do kicks only?
I can't remember. I think X is kick, circle is light, square is heavy punch, then triangle is special. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, it's been a while since I was playing it earlier, and I can't remember the
it's just I saw the map, and it says like you press. Square for light attack, X for medium attack, and circle for heavy attack. Yeah.
Oh, I got it wrong around, but yeah, Street Fighter. So yeah, here's the back. Ooh, and there's the front. Ooh, and there's nothing inside because we live in 2023.
Can they just release it in dual cases like they did for music CDs in the past?
Yeah, it would have been better. But I'm enjoying it so far. I've not played it enough to really, like, I can't give it a score out of 10 or anything, but I'm enjoying it for what I've played so far. I've just started the story mode. It's quite funny. You just walk up to random strangers and challenge them to a fight. Just some random guy on the street. I'm like, hey, you! Boom! Just start fighting them in the middle of the street. It's hilarious. And you create your own character as well. My character looks like me. He's a big guy with a beard and like messy hair. He's like giant. Looks like what's it called? Zangief. Looks a bit like Zangief, but with my hair and my beard. Oh, it's a lot of fun so far. I'm gonna play it more later. Spencer from the PS We Trust podcast is really pissed that I got it earlier, so I'm gonna share screen with him. I think that's the thing on PlayStation you can do. You can share, like what you're doing. So I'm just gonna show him my gameplay, and he's gonna have fun with that. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, it's a fun game. And then next week is my birthday. Hey, and I will be hopefully getting Diablo 4. Fingers crossed. And if not Diablo 4, Star Wars Survivors. Those are like the two options I got. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing next week. I don't know if we've got anything planned because obviously our recording days are Wednesday and my birthday is on the Wednesday, so maybe we might record on the Tuesday. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing. What have you been playing?
Well, I haven't played any Zelda this week. Been meaning to try it, but then I haven't got round to it. When I was just discussed about it online, I was told like you don't have to grind, you just like explore the world wherever you like. So maybe I would do that next time. But what I've been doing,
have you been down the depths yet?
Sorry,
you haven't been to the depths yet, have you? Or have you not tried that yet?
No, not yet, because I got as far as like getting to one of the towers in the first camp and revealed the first part of the map. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's good. As soon as you get to the depths, essentially it's like, oh wow, we got Dark Souls in this game. Suddenly there's Dark Souls in Zelda. What's going on? Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I've been killed off like a few times because I struggled to find food and I was grinding to get a red and white trousers, but then I just got killed off, and it's pretty much a bit like Dark Souls there, so I'm not quite ready to go to the depths yet.
The things you do for fashion, eh? So I've got to do it for these trousers. Also,
it offers 3 points, of course, instead of like 1 with the starter kit gear.
Fair. I really like Zelda. It's such a fun game. So yeah, you haven't been playing Zelda. So,
no,
yeah.
I've actually used a Switch Online game voucher to get that. And at the same time, like for almost the same price, I got Advance Wars 1 plus 2. And that's what I've been playing most on my Switch instead. So
interesting.
Got into the campaign, trying to get S ranks, and it just kind of brings back memories when I was playing the first Advance Wars on my Game Boy Advance. The art style is a bit, mixed. Like, I like a new styles of those characters, but I just noticed when comparing them with the Game Boy Advance ones, I like the Game Boy Advance graphics, which is why the map with all the vehicles, easier to tell, but it's like, I kind of prefer the original look a bit better.
Fair. I haven't played the new version. I thought the new version looked kind of nice though. It's like cartoony, isn't it? Like it looks like toys almost. But yeah, I kind of dig it. Yeah, it's because it is the original games, isn't it, from the Game Boy Advance, but just remastered in there. Advance Wars 1, 2.
Yeah.
Reboot.
Well, they added a little bit of extra music and changed a few bits, but yeah. But I've also been playing Sonic Origins on the Switch.
Nice.
So I completed the original Sonic the Hedgehog. I've been like going through story mode, so I like got over to Sonic 2, but I also did things like missions and playing through Sonic 3. Like, typically, when it comes to Sonic 3, you notice in the very first stage, you just like go through, and then if you drop down and head left, as soon as you go through the first wider bot and you see the swings, you just go down turn left for the first ring, and then you go in the first special stage. So you just like go through, collect the blue spheres in order to like complete the level. I usually just like aim to complete that as the first attempt, so to just show that I haven't aged at all, so I don't like keep sucking at it. So I just, every time I do that, I want to make sure I complete it. And this, the last time I did that, it was on Sonic Mania. I was playing on my Xbox, and then doing well, and then I just, because you get the same stage on like Sonic Mania as well as Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So I go through, did a mistake while I was going for the blue spheres around the bumpers and lost. And I was like, oh no, this is the first time in years I've lost it. But when I played it on the Switch, went through it, like a bit nervous, but completed it with all the rings collected. And then I went on to complete all the stages. It's just the fourth stage is a bit of a pain, but the rest is just pretty much fine. So I think the trouble is to the latency on my, I think at least the Xbox Series X controller. So I think there's a bit of a latency issue, which is kind of makes me think that Switch has got better latency. And I don't want to say too much about Joy-Con drift, but it works well for me, touch wood. But yeah, it just does pretty well. But
you sound like me. You sound like me when I was playing all the classic Mario games, just like going back through it. It's like, I'll play one level and then end up playing the entire game in one sitting. It's literally what I did the other day with Mario Bros. 3 in 1, so that's hilarious.
I'm still waiting for the Sonic Origins Plus to come out, which is around Sonic's birthday, 23rd of June. And that's when they add extra bits like playable Amy Rose in the game. I think this will be quite interesting after it. Looking forward to that. So and they
put Amy Rose in the old games then, like in the original games?
Nope, just the mods.
Oh, okay.
And
okay, interesting.
And the Sega Game Gear titles, you get 12 of them into the whole game. So that would actually make for a huge nostalgia trip. So yeah.
I need to play some more Sonic. I wanted to get Sonic Origins for a while, but I've been waiting for it to go down in price. I'm definitely going to try and buy it. There's multiple versions of it as well, isn't there? Like trying to figure out which version to buy.
I would recommend the Switch so you can play it on the move. But I got it when it was like 50% off.
Ooh. I'll have to keep an eye out.
Anyway, so I've also been playing Halo Infinite, which I've been playing just to get a red line interrupt. Get it for the weekly challenge, but it's just like going through the challenges and going through like snipers just to beat the challenges, and it's not that fun, which is why this week it's just like I don't feel like I want to do anything with it. So, but I think I heard there's some like really interesting things of season 4 to do with the new armor core, which is hazmat, which is like based on a hazard suit, and there's also like infection or heavy comes. And it's also introducing career progression and more cross-core coatings as well. So should be interesting.
Definitely need to play some more Halo. I beaten the Insurgents weekly pass. Oh, excuse me. I've beaten that. So I need to go back and play some more at some point. But I need to unlock some more stuff for sure. It's been a while since I played it, a couple of weeks, but always love Halo. Always going to go back to Halo. Do you think you're going to be playing Halo and Marathon, like you're switching between the two when they comes out, trying to beat both battle passes? So,
depends if Halo Infinite's got more content coming, which in the moment they seem to run out of G's. Even the Sharpers just keeps bringing back items instead of introducing more new items over, so it's just weird.
It's annoying, yeah. So that's what we've been playing, is it?
Yeah.
Should we move on to the news?
You said so loudly that it just cut out.
Sorry.
That's all right. Don't apologise.
The news.
The news at Xbox O'Clock.
We're going to talk about the Fantasy League briefly.
Yep.
So I've been a little, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been a little bit of a sneaky potato. Sneaky boy.
What's that?
I picked up Alan Wake 2.
Battle what? Alan Wake 2? Oh, right.
Yeah. I dropped Replaced because I have a feeling it's not going to come out because I was being made in Ukraine, and I picked up Alan Wake 2.
Wait a minute. What did you drop?
Replaced.
Oh, Replaced. Oh, what's this Replaced thing anyway?
It was on the Xbox conference. It's like a 2D game where you're in the body of a human. You're a cyborg in the body of a human.
Oh, right.
And it's made in Ukraine. It looks really good, but as it said, it's been developed in Ukraine. So I'm having a bad feeling it's not going to come out anytime soon. So I dropped it and picked up Alan Wake 2 instead because Alan Wake 2 is coming out in October. So being a little sneaky, smart, thinky thing. I wanted to pick up some more games. Yeah. I only just found out as well, though, after I did that, apparently you can only do that with one game. I have to wait now I can't get rid of any of my games unless they get dated, apparently. I can only get rid of one game that's not gonna. I think the word is if it says it's not coming out this year, I can get rid of it. But if it's not got a release date on it, I have to keep it until there gets a release date. So I'm screwed because I got Metro Prime 4. That's definitely not coming out. I got Avowed. That's probably not coming out. There's a couple of games that might still come out, which we'll talk about in our predictions. But yeah, that's why Alan Wake was a good one, but I'm still and I'm at 46 points. So Diablo's looks like that's going to get me a load of points, but I'm still at 46 at the moment. I'm waiting for the points to come through for that one.
Well, anyway,
I just noticed you added one to your list as well. Very clever. I just noticed your one.
If you allow me to explain,
go ahead.
Sword of the Sea, I think it has the potential to score very high compared to the West Conference, and I think with how Journey has been well received, I think this one will probably work out. However, I noticed the points have reduced, and I don't know if it's due to Jedi Survivor or Legend of Zelda, but I already still got the most amount of points out of Tears of the Kingdom. But Street Fighter 6 got 92, so I'm probably getting more points. But I'm still waiting on the other games. But what I'm actually interested to know is which games are going to be announced during this month so I can put more into those 4 slots.
Exactly. And I like Sword of the Sea. That's a really good choice. Only issue I would have with Sword of the Sea, it's like a tongue twister. Sword of the Sea. The only issue I have with that is it coming out this year?
Should be.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping it will because it looks great. I want to play it if it comes out this year. Should have got Hell Jumpers too because everyone's obsessed with that apparently. Maybe I'll add that to the PlayStation guys. Maybe they should. Maybe I should add that to their PlayStation tier list. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they should have, but you just made them into robots.
There is credible reports, and the game has been delayed. Okay, it says that the game's been delayed. So what might Last of Us multiplayer has been delayed apparently. So I will go on the PS3 translator. I'll cancel the Last of Us multiplayer, and I'll put Hell Jumpers in there for him. So that gives them a bit more of a chance. So we'll do that. So yeah, okay, that's great. So I think that's pretty much it when it comes to the fantasy cricket.
Yes,
I thought I was being clever with the Alan Wake thing, but you one up me with the Sword of the Sea thing. So very clever.
That's right.
Being sneaky. We're both being sneaky and doing it behind each other's back.
Well, it's not sneaky when I actually step back and use logic.
Yeah, logic. It's big brain play. So yeah, that's that part of the news. So 10 years ago to the day, a couple of days ago, the Xbox One was revealed. TV, Xbox, Call of Duty, TV, all that shit. John Matrick. Being forced to be online. If you haven't got the good internet, we have an Xbox for you. It's called an Xbox 360. All that stuff. Basically, the downfall of Xbox. It's been 10 years. Do you think we've recovered? That is the question.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we recovered because people are just flocked over the PlayStation. But I don't blame you because it's just like, oh, what's going on? Like, I was into like PlayStation 3 and I was like going into lots of games. And I was like, when the PlayStation 4 is announced, it's got the games. I was like so excited and so glad. And I end up being biased because Xbox is like, Switch Direct. But no, it's not Switch Direct. It's actually the Nintendo Direct. But I was like really obsessed with PlayStation back then. And I think it was like you can share gameplay clips and those sort of things. And it's like, wow, it's cool. Anyway, I
absolutely adore. Go on, sorry.
What were you saying?
I said I absolutely adored the Xbox 360, and I was like one of my favorite consoles of all time, and I was very excited for the next console from Xbox. And then they started doing the Kinect and all that, and the Xbox 360 kind of lost its way towards the end. And then the Xbox One was announced, and I'm like, ugh, this is not what I want. This is horrible. It's £100 more. It's got Force Connect. You need Kinect for this console. You can't have it without Kinect. 2-3 months later, they removed the bloody Kinect. Force logins, unable to trade in used games, all this horrible stuff. They was talking about TV all the time. No, it was a bad launch. It was a bad look for Xbox, and I still think people have a bad taste in their mouth about Xbox from that conference. That conference was such a bad conference; it completely derailed Xbox for 10 years. Yeah, 10 years on, and we still haven't recovered. It's mad. Like, it's such a bad conference. It literally took 10 years to bounce back from that. It's absolutely crazy.
What I got here right now is I got this brand new XL we at, just taking some feedback based on the Sony conference, and I just got this. Like, it gives you more gameplay, and we have like smaller faces, so therefore you can like get to see the Xbox thing, and then us reacting in the small pictures. So it's just something for the Xbox conference coming up. So I thought we might use that. So yeah, it's cool. Now, so I'm going to react to the Xbox new generation revealed by you in 30 seconds or 20 seconds, whatever.
Xbox event.
What are we watching? I'm so confused. I'm sorry. What's going on? What are we watching?
New control. VHS player. With a bloody Kinect. Windows 8 interface with tabs. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Sports movie.
I don't know what you reacted to. I can't see
Halo TV series.
Doing.
And some gameplay, and it's gone.
I'm sat here.
Yeah, it's new tabs.
Sports, new tabs. I love sports and TV. I actually do like sports and TV, but that's not the point. God damn it. Yeah. So in other news, there's an Alone in the Dark reboot coming out by THQ Nordic. It's coming out on the 25th of the 10th.
Apparently, it's got like Joe DeComa from Killing Eve and David Harbour from Stranger Things. And the prologue is downloadable now. So are you interested in this game?
No. No, it looks all right. I don't know. Something about it looks a bit janky to me. Like, the character models look decent, and the fact that they got a good cast looks cool, but I don't know, I have a feeling that it's not going to be... It doesn't look very polished to me. Have you seen the trailer? It doesn't look very polished, honestly. I feel like... I have a feeling this is going to be like a 6 out of 10 or whatever when it comes to gameplay and graphics and stuff, you know?
Mind you, I haven't seen the trailer anyway, so... there's loads of different trailers there.
But I think the interesting part is that it's a reboot of Alone in the Dark. It's got Jodie Comer and David Harbour in it, which is interesting. And there's a prologue. We should probably play the prologue, and then we'll be able to tell if the game's any good. I was going to play the prologue, but then I got obsessed with Zelda again, and I just went back on Zelda.
Yeah.
So I'm going to download the prologue, and then I was like, oh wait, I played Zelda again. Oops. Never mind.
Yeah.
Funny.
So, I think it's just like, just whiz through it and like, shows the things.
It looks interesting anyway. It's another horror game coming out. It's like very similar to like a Resident Evil, but obviously doesn't look as polished as I don't think it looks as polished personally, but it might be good.
Yeah,
horror game, survivor horror games are kind of the in thing at the moment. Everyone seems to be into them. We got Dead Space remake, Resident Evil 4 remake. Resident Evil's on fire at the moment. We got Alan Wake 2 coming out. We got this coming out. You know, if you like your horror games, you're going to be eating good for the next few months, for sure.
Yes. So, anyway, now, the last bit of news that is very important to mention because we almost forgot about it completely. We're supposed to mention this like last week, unless it happened straight away. But Overwatch 2 has got the PvE modes, and that includes the story mode. They have been cancelled. So Blizzard can actually work on live servers.
Man, I was listening to a podcast earlier, and I think what they were saying was spot on. Is that I don't think gaming is aimed at us anymore. We're the old people who they don't care about. They only care about the kids now who love their Fortnites and their live services. That's who they seem to be aiming at. Everything seems to be live service and mobile at the moment. Anything like single player and all that kind of seems to be getting scrapped, which is very upsetting and very frustrating.
I think it's getting closer to us to having to read books because games are for kids. So we might as well stick with books.
I'm just going to go back to retro gaming. I mean, I'll just have my Xbox 360 and my Switch, and I'll just live off them. I think both of them will be fine for the just live off those for the future. They've got better games.
Bear in mind, it's an indie games where you get lots of like interesting stuff with it. But yeah, exactly. I think that I try to get into like Overwatch 2, buggy launch, but what's really incriminating is that the cosmetics are really too expensive. The challenges are hard to get. And it just seems like now they just like realize it's so much of a failure that people are now like trying to do only the cosmetics for it to keep it alive. So I think it didn't really fly off the ground. And when you get rid of a PvE, which is the selling point of this game, that if it's cancelled, then you literally just have Overwatch with the DLC slapped onto it. Only it's just made to be much worse. So I think this is just going to be a huge disappointing thing. But I'm glad I didn't actually spend anything on this game.
I mean, that was, as you said, it was the main selling point for it being an Overwatch 2. And the main reason people upgraded from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, apart from the fact that they were forced to, but the people who, the people wanted to upgrade was because they go, oh, well, at least we get the story mode of it. But no, they've literally just changed Overwatch 1 into a free-to-play game, and that's it, really. There's no single player or anything. There's no loot boxes, but now there's battle passes instead. It's just, I'm not keen on it. I don't know how they messed it up. Overwatch was such a money maker for them. They completely screwed it up somehow. I don't know how they've managed it. Baffling.
Yeah, so I think it's just like, it's a bit pointless anymore. But I think I was going to mention about Paladins, but that one, you still only get the cosmetics as most of the game's about. And I think it's quite similar to with Smite. So it's just like, if you want to play something that is released for PS2, play Paladins. Or if you want something that is fancier, but you wouldn't mind paying more for cosmetics, go for Overwatch 2. I don't know what about Valiant is, so we haven't checked out.
Valorant is quite expensive as well, so just play Halo, guys. Just play Halo.
Or Genshin Impact if you have a PlayStation. Or
if
PC.
you're a weeb. You like your Japanese animes.
Anyway, I think that's all the news.
Or wait for Foam Stars if you're a PlayStation fan. You get your Foam Stars ready, guys.
No. Don't go for Foam Stars.
Foam Stars!
Don't find Square Enix because you end up losing the money when they cancel the service later this year.
Yeah. How long do you think it's going to last? That's what we should bet on, how long we think Foam Stars is going to last as a service.
I don't know.
I think it'll be dead within 6 months.
I think it will be dead on arrival.
Ooh, brutal. I love it. Yay.
Anyway, we need to move on. So we're going to go to the topic, which is Xbox predictions.
It's time for the topic of the show.
This is my favorite podcast of the year. Last year's one was so much fun. I feel like I'm going to repeat myself a lot because all the fun ideas, all the crazy predictions I had didn't happen, but they could still happen now. So I'm going to try and do different predictions if I can. But if I repeat myself, I'm sorry. Yeah. But man, this is so much fun. We love our predictions. So what we're doing is 5 each, and we're starting off with our most likely predictions and then our most crazy predictions at the end, right? That's what we were going with. But you said you didn't really have much planned out, so you're going to try and wing it.
Improvise.
So improvise predictions. I love it. I mean, I can go through some stuff that, if you haven't got any ideas, I can go through some stuff with you as we go in anyway. So, shall I go first?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited. Yay. Okay. This is the most likely prediction out of all 5 of my predictions, or 8, because I got 8 of them written down, but 5 I'm saying. The most likely one is that Hellblade 2 is going to be coming out. We're going to get a gameplay trailer for Hellblade 2, and it's going to get a release date of the end of 2023, probably November, December time. So we're going to have September, Starfield, October, Forza, and then at the end of the year, we're going to have Hellblade 2. That's going to be our big Christmas game.
Oh, it could be a shadow drop.
Could you imagine if Hellblade 2 was a shadow drop? Blooming heck.
I mean, it happens with the developer threat where they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush. That game's so
That's
good.
true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Well, it's probably the best Xbox game that's come out in the last 4 or 5 years, probably, since Halo, I would say. Yeah, so yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, Hellblade 2 was a shadow drop would be insane. I would love that. I can't see it happening, but it would be insane. I would love that. But I think it's going to be our big Christmas game this year. They're going to push that like God of War was last year for a PlayStation. It's going to be the big hack and slash story game. They're going to push it like really hard, and it's going to be really, Starfield September. Then we have Forza for the races, and then the big closer for the end of the year is Hellblade 2. That's my prediction. If it's not the end of the year, I think it'll be early 2024, but I think it is going to be our end of year game. My prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Prediction number uno. Do you have anything for your first prediction?
First, the prediction is Halo Infinite Season 4 will be on the showcase, but at the same time, they announced something that hasn't been leaked. And I imagine they're going to do the crossover with Red versus Blue.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Just imagine, like, when you have Halo as a live service, and would they been working with Rooster Teeth to deliver Red versus Blue? I think they'll just probably, like, bring that stuff over and, like, have some Rooster Teethy bits there. But then they'll probably announce it on RTX. But then again...
We'll have Ruby in there.
Yeah. Well, you did mention it before me.
I thought I mentioned it before. Yeah, chance. Oh God. Yeah, Rooster Teeth. I suppose so. I mean, they've done it in the past.
Yeah.
The Red versus Blue had a. I think they were in Fortnite, so you had Blood Gulch.
Yes.
In Fortnite because of them. So yeah, Blood Gulch might be the like, where are we? Where are we? So with Blood Gulch.
I think if it says anything to make them event extra special, is that they'll probably release a Blood Gulch map and Griff Bowl because these two are actually tied to the whole show. So it would be nice to include them, as well as some of the cosmetics that make the Spartans look like the characters you expect from Red vs. Blue. But I think when it's been announced, people are going to lambast it because of Rooster Teeth's controversy. And I feel that this may be a hate bait from like 343 Industries, because if you bring up something that people are going to fuss about because of the allegations, I think it's just going to draw more people over to get Red vs. Blue and play more Griff Ball. Just like what happened to Hoglock's Legacy. So much hate end up having so many sales. And guess what? There's now like Harry Potter's everywhere again is more famous. Like as if we're pretty much jokes to them. So
it's a shame. But yeah, I can imagine like they go we're bringing back Blood Gulch as like someone's made this map as a mod, and they go, yeah, we'll bring it back. And then the advert for the Blood Gulch returning would be the characters from Red vs. Blue going, where are we? Oh, I don't know. like the intro to Red vs. Blue. I can imagine that happening as a little like shadow drop thing, and it's like, also bringing Griffball back. Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine that as like a shadow drop on the day of the conference. Like, play Halo Infinite today and get Blood Gulch and Griffball. That'd be a good shadow drop as well. I think that'd be a decent one. Something quite simple to do as well. I think that would be good.
I may add that the Red vs. Blue may have moved over to Unreal Engine, and they did the one in like Fortnite, but they also did the original series called Red vs. Blue Zero, which is on Unreal Engine, but that one wasn't well received, and they just went totally quiet on it. They did like their Q&A with I think it's Griffin Simmons when they just doing the questions, and it was all based on Halo Infinite. But I think because of the controversy, I think it may have been canned, but I don't know, because Red vs. Blue's just kind of vanished in favor of like other projects of Rooster Teeth. But now they're just like focusing on podcasts and RTX. It's just like, you know what? I mean, what is it something we're going for anymore? Like, there's of course Ruby and stuff like that, which I feel is just pretty much life support for the whole company.
Yeah. So that's your safest prediction. So I'm really curious what your crazy ones are going to be like.
Yes.
That's really crazy. So my second one, which is still kind of crazy, I think we're going to see id's new game. id Software. It might be a Quake reboot, but if we're going to go really crazy, Hexen reboot from id. Let's do it. That would be awesome. So they made Doom, they've rebooted Doom, and now it's time to reboot either Quake or Hexen, and I would love to see Hexen get rebooted. Only problem is the Activision own the rights to Hexen. However, Xbox are in good terms with Activision, and they're trying to buy Activision. Maybe they could have got the rights to Hexen before they went into negotiations with Activision, possibly. I'm not sure. Be interested to see a reboot of Hexen, though. I would flip my mind. If you guys don't know what Hexen is, it's like a magical version of Doom. As I said, but it's owned by Activision, technically, but it is an id game. So, yeah, bring back Hexen! Or just make a new game altogether, why not? Just make a fourth pillar of id Software, or fifth pillar, because they've got Prey, haven't they? Or, yeah. Yeah, so that is my number 2. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty good. I think I wasn't really expecting that, but I think this nice thing you mentioned about Hexen. So yeah, it's quite good. I mean, it's possible because they already like re-released Doom 64, Quake, those kind of games. So I think I could see more ID software coming out. Being like remakes of, remasters of like certain games, so that would be good. Yeah,
because it hasn't released anything since the DLC for Doom 2016, so or Doom Eternal even, or 2016. Yeah, Doom Eternal, they haven't released anything since the DLC for that. So they haven't really done anything for 3 years or 2 and a bit years. So I think it's about time we see something new from them, even if it's in early development. So yeah. My logic. What is your next prediction?
That was going to get more interesting. Elder Scrolls 6 is announced, but it will feature different multiple countries like Cyrodiil, Skyrim, and even Daggerfall, for instance. But they only shown it as a CGI trailer just to tease people into thinking, oh, it's coming.
Okay. Yeah, because they already did they just padded over the world and it just says Elder Scrolls. So, I mean, are you imagining we're going to get like Elder Scrolls, what was it, 7? Or is it?
No, 6.
7, right?
No, 6.
It is 6.
Yeah.
So Elder Scrolls 6 and then like a subtitle and then that'll be it. And like some plot stuff.
Yeah, so I think it's been many years since Skyrim came out, so I think it's about time they can like roll out the punches with it. But I don't think it's very likely that Fallout will be like announced. But I think the thing is, There was a game that had multiple countries in the Elder Scrolls game before, and that's Elder Scrolls Online, but that's an MMO.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you could reuse some of those assets, couldn't you? I suppose if they're like the same, so that could work. That could help. I mean, we know this. We already know the next Elder Scrolls game is in development, but it's in early development because obviously it's the next game after Starfield. So obviously, yeah, this would be a really early trailer, but it would be an interesting one. I'm sure we might see it. I mean, they showed Starfield 7 or 8 years ago, and it's still not out. So why not? Yeah, why not? Like, and maybe we'll get a name for it, as I said. So maybe like Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim 2 might be called. I don't know, or
nah, it'll be
Skyrim 2.
Nah, it'll be like. I think it will be an entirely different name, like Elder Scrolls, unless they're going to throw another gimmick, like Elder Scrolls for Oblivion.
I'm joking.
And that's not like sticking to Cyrodiil. It introduces to the new mechanic where you go into Oblivion realms. And that is the only game in the series that lets you do that. Where Skyrim is just like you're fighting dragons, even though it doesn't mention dragons, it's just Skyrim as a land.
Yeah, okay. Elder Scrolls 5. I'm trying to think of a good name we could have for it. So I'm all I can think of is stupid stuff like Apocalypse or Endgame or Civil War or I don't know. They'll come up with something.
Anything that's not MCU titled.
Maybe they'll go Elder Scrolls 0 or Elder Scrolls 1, like a reboot of the whole Elder Scrolls universe.
No.
Elder Scrolls, Elden Ring, Elder Scrolls Souls.
You know, it would be really interesting if Elder Scrolls goes into the future and you have guns instead of weapons.
That'd be good. Yes, in space, ideally.
But then you get something like Starfield.
And that was the joke I was making. Or what would be good is if I'll play Elder Scrolls and then like nukes went off and then you're like in a nuclear fallout. The Elder Scrolls 5. I'm sure there's going to be a good name for it. I'll come up with a name later and I'll be like, that was amazing. But at the moment, I can't think of anything. So
let's move on to the next prediction.
Tears of the Kingdom. Elder Scrolls 5. Tears of the Kingdom. So how did they steal our name? Sorry. Anyway, yeah. Your next, or is it my next prediction? I've lost place.
Your next prediction.
This is more of a, I'm hoping this is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Right. So a couple of days ago, Double Fine put a thing up on their Twitter account saying, these are all these games. Yeah, I mean, I will get. They brought up a thing saying all these games are coming to Game Pass, and then they had 2 boxes at the end with a question mark on them. Going, ooh, like, so there's 2 mystery games coming to Game Pass that are made by Double Fine. So, yeah, Psychonauts 3 is probably the most likely or logical guess of those. But what I want is Banjo-Kazooie free, Banjo free, make it happen. The rumors are, like, people saying that they should have Double Fine making Banjo-Kazooie. Tim Schafer already said nah. But I think he was lying to us.
Well, that would be a bad thing, isn't it?
Hey. But yeah, I mean, like, Xbox owns the IP. No one's used the IP. I think Double Fine would be a good developer for Banjo-Kazooie. Like, you could have, like, a smaller team that maybe doesn't have Tim Schafer involved, just, like, a smaller part of, like, a smaller team of Double Fine making a spin-off. I would totally be down for that. Like, Banjo-Kazooie with a bit more deep writing like Psychonauts. I would totally be down for that. Basically, I just want Banjo-Kazooie, and this seems like the most likely way it's going to happen. So that's my theory.
Yeah. I think it's
just... gone, Everwild sucks. Let's get rid of Everwild. Let's just make Banjo free. That's the other option.
I think it's just... if there's no Grant Cook up on it, then it's probably going to flop. Because you need his music to make it extra special, as well as some like really interesting sound effects with it, because it's supposed to be more cartoony.
I want Banjo-Kazooie! Yeah!
Something that is worth bearable about.
Yeah, but basically, I don't think it's happening. but I'm just hoping because like Xbox knows that people want a new Banjo-Kazooie game. They've known for years people want a new Banjo-Kazooie game. I don't care who's making it. Just make it, goddammit. You got so many studios. Just give it to someone small. Give it to an indie studio, for Christ's sake. Get it done. We want Banjo-Kazooie. Get it done. I don't think it's happening, but I would love to see if we just see Banjo come on the stage or like the music starts playing. I'm gonna flip out in the conference. I swear. So, what is your third prediction?
My third prediction is Sonic games are coming to Game Pass.
Ooh. That's good. I was going to say Sega. Yeah, I mean, like I have a similar idea here as well. Like maybe because like maybe Xbox and Sega have made some kind of deal to have all their games exclusive to Game. Well, not exclusive to Game Pass, but have all their games on Game Pass, like they did with EA. That would be cool.
Well, bear in mind that Sonic games. Sega had this exclusive to the Gate deal to bring Sonic as exclusive to the Wii, but that was like a decade ago. And they recently announced, and they have announced like a few years ago, they are bringing Sonic titles over to PlayStation Now. Only like 3 games. But yeah. I imagine that if Sega's got to get on well with Xbox, then they're probably going to be bringing Sonic games over to Game Pass. So it's just like boosts the library for kids to check out, as well as some streaming. So it should be really good.
Also, obviously, they've had all the Yakuza games on Game Pass. That's a big deal. And also, there's a big rumor going around that Persona 3 remake is coming to Xbox. And that's going to be at the conference.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So they got a good thing going on with Sega. I keep saying they should just buy Sega, but you know. I think that they have a good thing going on there. I could see that happening. Some kind of Sega Sonic deal. I mean, I've always, like it comes up every episode. I think Xbox should buy Sega for their back catalog. It just makes so much sense because then you would have a catalog that rivals Nintendo's and rivals Sony's, and you'd be able to compete with with your library of games. I mean, it makes sense to me. But, you know, what do I know? And you'd be able to invade Japan a bit better as well. So that was your number 3, was it?
Yes, it is number 3. And I think you mentioned the Persona 3 remake to be a third prediction and 2, is it? It was one of my side predictions that I wasn't going to mention, but the fact that you mentioned Sega, I thought I'd just mention the fact that Sega have already in talks with that, was rumored. So there's a rumor that's been going around. So my fourth prediction, this is where we start to get a bit crazy and off the rails a bit here. I think we're going to finally hear about this Xbox Nintendo partnership, whatever it is. We've seen Sarah Bond on a stage with a Nintendo Switch behind her. And we've had Nintendo Switches behind Phil. I know it is this house, but they've had on an actual stage. They've had Nintendo Switches and stuff. There's a load of Xbox characters in Super Smash Brothers. They've got Banjo-Kazooie and GoldenEye on the Switch. I feel like there's something going on between Nintendo and Xbox. I don't know what it is, but I can imagine some kind of partnership. I don't know what it's going to be. It might be something as simple as we might have a spin-off game like was it Mario plus Rabbids, but it'd be like Halo plus Mario or something. It'd be really weird. But I can see like some kind of like spin-off game that Xbox gets to use some Nintendo IP, or it could be xCloud xCloud on game, or it could be something as big as Game Passes on Switch, and you have access to all the first-party games on Switch through the cloud. That's also a possibility. But I think that we're going to start to hear about this partnership. Probably won't hear about it at E3, but I feel like that is an interesting thing that's going on. And we still don't know why. There is something going on between those two companies. I feel like they're getting along quite well. And, you know, stick the boot in on PlayStation, take PlayStation when they're down, team up on them and tag team, like, yeah, you and me and Nintendo, we'll work together, let's get them. But no, I think something's going on, and I want to know what it is. I'm conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat. What's going on with Nintendo? So that's my fourth prediction, and I have one that's even more crazy than that. Wow. What's your fourth prediction? Oh. Well, the fourth prediction is Avowed is going to have a shadow drop and is in the style of Grounded, only with a much bigger map.
Wow. Avowed shadow dropped. Wow. I thought Avowed would be a big Q1 or Q2 game next year, but that would be insane. Could you imagine that? And
Yes.
then like 2 months, like we shadow drop it, everyone's playing it, and then it's like, oh yeah, the Starfield director's on in a minute. We should be watching that. Now we're playing Avowed. Go away.
That is if you can then download it first.
That's true. It might be after the Starfield direct. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, would that cannibalize Starfield? Probably not, especially if it came out in June. That's interesting. That's a bold prediction, but I could see it happening in a weird way. I would totally dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No, I'm totally down for that. I feel like there should be a shadow drop in this conference at some point, but I don't know what it would be. I feel like saying Blood Gulch and Griffball are in Halo. It seems to be a more likely shadow drop than Avowed. But hey, you never know. I think Avowed is one of the biggest games on the future schedule, but you never know. As you said, Hi-Fi Rush did really well when it was shadow dropped, so why not? Screw it. Life's too short. Let's go. Yeah, I agree with that. Anything else you want to say about Avowed before we move on to the final?
Let's move on
to the final prediction. Okay, so I had a couple of random ones that I wanted to mention, which are not my proper predictions, but just like honorable mentions. Overdose by Kojima might be there. There's the rumored Mandalorian game, which I mentioned last year. There's the rumored Gears of War collection, which we might see as well. And I also mentioned Persona 3 as well. Also, you didn't mention it, but I should have probably mentioned it during the Halo thing, that there's the rumored Halo Battle Royale game coming out as well that's been rumored as well.
I suppose it could come out at some point in the future, but it depends if like certain affinities, like whether they're going to make it or going to assist with Halo Infinite. But Halo Infinite is already like made to be so complex because they're talking about like cross-core armor coatings and bits like that, but they already made the system so complex that you couldn't easily expand on it. And same with the events, so I don't know, it's a bit up in the air with it.
So my bold prediction is that we will see some kind of new hardware, either an Xbox Series SS Super Slim, I think you're broken. Ow, my ears. Stop. So the Xbox Series X without a disc drive, or the Series S that's even smaller or a more powerful one. But I think more likely is we might see the Keystone, which is the streaming box. So like a cheap streaming box that just streams games to your console through your TV. Or we might see the Xbox equivalent of the Q Lite. We might see a handheld streaming device from Xbox. I mean, if PlayStation are doing it, why wouldn't Xbox be doing it? And I would probably be a better system because you could probably play games from the cloud as well and not just off your Xbox. So you'd probably be multi-cross thing. Or maybe they are some kind of partnership with Steam Deck. Who knows? But I think we might see some kind of new hardware from Xbox. As I said, there's maybe some kind of streaming device or a cheaper version of the Series X without a disc drive, or a streaming handheld. I think we're going to see some kind of hardware from Xbox. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think we're going to see some kind of hardware. And it'll be coming out this year before the end. It'll be the big Christmas push. Yeah, yes. There you go. That is my crazy prediction.
Yeah, I think that will be quite interesting to say at least. So
I think I said handheld last year as well. I think that was my thing for last year as well, but it's okay.
I still absolutely miss the PlayStation TV. I think even though Phil Spencer's denies the possibility of a keystone device, but I think having something that is like the PlayStation TV, where it's like a very small device that is connected by HDMI and powered by USB, is very practical. It's a shame that Sony had discontinued it, so you had to like stick to the PlayStation Vita. But there's still people who are interested in the PS Vita and they love playing it. So, I mean, there's definitely still a market for these. It's just a shame that Sony did not like unleash their successor to the Vita and instead having a Wii U controller for the PlayStation 5.
I mean, if they bring out a Keystone, I'll buy one. I'll probably have it in my office. And then I can play my Xbox games in one room and then play my Xbox games in another room without having to move it. I mean, that sounds like a good idea to me. I would buy one.
Yeah.
And that's my crazy prediction.
Yep.
So what is your crazy prediction?
That's so difficult, but I'm going to have to crap out something that is going to be mind-blowing, which has got a bit of a likeliness to it.
Ooh, exciting.
A Gears of War Unreal Engine 5 game.
Ooh, Gears 6? Question mark?
Well, when Unreal Engine 5 is announced, I think it would be longer till Epic unleashes anything that sort. But it depends if they're focused too much on like, Fortnite. I mean, Gears 5 has been announced, being released for the Xbox One, and that was a few years before Series X comes along. But then again, it's got upgraded for that console too, so whatever.
Yeah, fair.
But I think we still need to see more Unreal Engine 5 games coming out. So I reckon the Epic Games is going to pull off a really big one for it.
I can see that. Gears 6 or Gears Tactics 2 or Gears Kart. Dom! Fire like a chainsaw at people.
Yeah.
I would play that. I would totally play that. I don't care. That is our predictions for 2023's showcase. I also wanted to mention the news that the Jeff Keighley's conference is coming out the week before, which is literally next week, which is like the Summer Game Fest predictions. I won't go bother doing predictions because sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes they have stuff like an Elden Ring or whatever. Are you expecting anything coming from that? Because I'm not.
Well, the Summerfest.
Yeah.
I don't know. They'll probably bring out a spider jousting game there.
Yeah. Was it Spider Joust? I can't remember that game. Yeah. Or that fishing simulator.
Heck.
That was good. Spider Heck. That's it. Yes, that was a fun game. Yeah, I mean, as I said, last year they showed Callisto Protocol, which ended up being a bit of a turd. And the year before they showed Elden Ring, which was awesome. But apart from that, they didn't show anything interesting in these shows. So I've not got my high hopes for the Summer Games Fest. But I thought I'd mention it because people might go, why are you predicting Xbox and not predicting Summer Games Fest? Because I don't expect much from Summer Games Fest. That's why.
Also, we got lives.
And we got lives too.
Anyway, so we need to move on and ask you the final question. I have a question for you, Chief. I'm going to cut to the chase and ask you, which game would solidify Xbox Showcase this year as the best conference of them all? Something that is better than any Sony conference in history.
What game? Is one game that does it? One game to rule them all.
I thought you already got one in mind.
I don't, really. I mean, Banjo 3 would make me lose my mind, but I don't think that's big enough. Starfield is great, but we already know about Starfield. Halo is awesome, but it's kind of lost its lackluster. I mean, what would kill the conference is if they can just come out and go, yeah, we own Activision now. Every Activision game is now on Game Pass. I think that would probably completely win over the show a bit. Overdose?
Overdose.
I think Overdose by Kojima has a good chance because Hideo Kojima is amazing, and if it looks like anything like Metal Gear Solid, I think that could do like a really big turnout. I don't know what else it could do, really. What do you think? Have you got any ideas? 'Cause I'm struggling.
I was kind of hoping you would actually mention Microsoft's answer to Super Smash Brothers, but then...
Ooh, that would be good. Yeah. Or some kind of like big crossover, like Killer Instinct 2 or Killer Instinct versus Xbox. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And you'd have all the Xbox characters. Yeah, that would be cool. I would do that. Or Halo Kart.
But then I was going to mention Battletoads, but then there's already been released, and the reboot is just like not that huge.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like big games. I mean, Halo is the biggest franchise that Xbox owns, and they've kind of cocked it up, unfortunately. And then Starfield's great, but we already know about that. So yeah, I think maybe like a Smash Brothers clone would be fun. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
it'd be hilarious. Trying to think of other franchises they could do that would blow people away.
I mean,
like
they already
had their own Marvel game.
They already did mashups of other franchises when Sony did like Sony All Stars Bot Fighting or some sort.
That's PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, which I actually quite enjoyed that game. It wasn't terrible. Maybe if Xbox got like the Metal Gear Solid game, we already know is coming to both. I don't know. That's so tough. That's so tough. Yeah, trying to think. There's some good stuff that they could show, but I don't think there's anything that would literally blow everyone away. That would be like the one game that could rule them all kind of thing, you know. Be interesting though. Be very interested to see where it goes. Monster World 2 might be a show that might be interesting. Halo Battle Royale. There's some good stuff they could show. Fallout New Vegas 2. That could help. That could blow everyone away. Interesting. There's a lot of interesting things they could show. I think it's going to be a lot of good games and not one big game will turn the tide, I think. One game won't do the trick. I think you need quite a few, but it'll be interesting for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's just like, I'm not expecting so much for the Xbox showcase, so it's kind of hard to predict. But I really do hope Microsoft will come up with something that will completely trump like Sony showcase, because that showcase over there is something that even got fanboy Sony ponies like getting pretty depressed by it. So it's just like, I don't think it'd be hard to beat that. Hopefully they'll beat it. If they don't beat it, I'll be very disappointed. There'll be such a letdown. Oh, I mean, games are getting more stale, really. I mean, you did mention like how games are changing, and it's no longer going to be fun games or some sort. Yeah, we're old. Nothing's built for us anymore. Everything's designed for kids. That makes me sad to think. Everything's Fortnite. Anyway, I think we're just going to wrap this up. So I thought the predictions is going to take 2 hours, but then again, it's just like, I just need to move on because I do have a few other things, and also dealing with the bits of things. So I'm just going to get a crack on and wrap this up. So I think the predictions are fun. So how do you rate my improvisation techniques? Yeah, pretty good. I thought you did pretty well. Your predictions, considering you did already plan. I had a load written down. I still were it was a bit wobbly. That was enjoyable. I enjoyed that. We'll love a good predictions episode. We might do a couple. There might be some leaks or whatever next week. We can talk about them and maybe do some more predictions next week. Yes. But this is our main predictions episode, and I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the conference now. Bring it on! It can't be worse than the Sony one, surely. Please not. Well, no. Otherwise it'll be just sorry, really. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just guess I'm going to retire and just go and play Nintendo games forever. But thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Thank you for getting us to 100 subscribers. It means so much. I'm so happy. It makes me happy. I'm going to go play some Street Fighter. So until then, take care. Bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to X Marks the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Mateo, and I'm with my good friend.
I can't hear you.
What do you mean you can't hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, actually.
Should I do that again?
Oh, it's me, actually. Is it me, or is it you're using a vibrating device?
No, I'm not using a vibrating device. I got someone trying to ring me who I'm trying to ignore, and they keep it ringing me. I'm just going to block.
Just turn off your phone.
I need it for my notes. I got my notes on my phone. Oh my god. People are so annoying. It's like I tell them I'm busy and then I just get non-stop calls. Ridiculous. All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so
are you kidding me? I'm sorry.
Turn off your phone.
I just muted it. Why is this? Hang on. Oh man, I got all my notes on here. I can't just let you get rid of it.